Welcome to the Diner Podcast, where we eat our lunch or breakfast. Hello and welcome to the Diner Podcast. I'm your host, Red Velvet. With me, as always, is Uncle Lump.
Hello.
And today it is an OG day.
You looked very sad when you were doing the intro.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you look like you're just sad.
I paid $2,500 in bills today.
Oh, that will do it.
Yeah.
That will cause depression. that is a full-blown cause for depression.
Yeah. I looked at the life insurance too. I'm like,
You're like, oh. Please don't.
It's a one-time payout, and it's a one-time decision.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, no, it's not. That's not a good idea. And your poor children and
paying bills sucks. Being an adult sucks.
Damn companies,
especially when
money.
Especially when everything's owned by a monopoly.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so we were having
that was my segue. That was my segue into that.
Yeah, I know. I was going with it. You didn't have to tell them it was the segue.
That's a segue for anybody not paying attention.
That was our segue, just so you guys know. We were talking about energy companies prior to this, and why are they the only ones, like them and the water companies, are allowed to have a monopoly? You can't, because we were talking about stories of people being pissed off at other providers, and it's like, well, yeah, you don't have any other option. It's just, here's your thing, pay for it or die.
Yeah, well, that's because we just saw some very big utility electrical company, starts with a D, and it should be called Dick, but
your rates will make you want to puke.
Well, they just put in for a 20% raise of bills because they're not making enough money, apparently.
If they can.
I'm fortunate of my electric bill's under $300, which is still stupid, but I'm lucky there. I've seen people with $500, $600, $700 bills, and I'm like, that's my house payment.
Yeah. It doesn't, I don't understand how they can get away with having only one place. That's they'll go to war with these companies that, no, you're not allowed to have the only cell phone in town, but you're that's a problem. But your electricity and water, fuck that. Just, deal with it. That makes perfect sense. Why is that? But they also put the water company and electric company on the monopoly board. So they were kind of telling us that, hey, here you go. Here's your monopoly. Good luck.
And that's the thing. So do you think not the Grand Wizard, that's the wrong club, but the Grand Master, the top of the pyramid guy, does he look like the Monopoly man? Old man, creepy mustache, monocle with a top hat? I mean, it's
possibly, or a lizard person. Or it could be, who knows at this point? It could be like a giant. It could be a lizard person. It could be, there's all sorts of awesome theories.
It could be an alien.
Twitter machine. It could be aliens. We could be absolutely ran by aliens.
You know what I was just thinking about today, because I was inviting more people that like stuff that I don't even see, but we can invite them to our page.
Yep.
I get a lot of angry faces, and I'm betting it's still that stupid pickleball video I posted months ago.
Yeah, that one really did not go over well for whatever reason.
What?
The pickleball community did not respond to that.
Oh, no, they didn't like. Well, you know what? Yeah, that guy shouldn't have got knocked out for being excited.
But they were mad at you.
Oh, no, they weren't mad at me. They were mad at that, just the video in general.
Oh no, that was the Chappelle video. The Chappelle video you posted got the heat. I forgot which one.
Yeah, that one got the heat. People were upset, but that's how I segued into this one. I'm using segue a lot. I need to get a segue. But yeah, no, the pickleball video did really well. It's got over 3 million views, and a ton of comments, but that's where the angry faces come, because people see that like, argh. But then I saw the angry face. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that Chappelle video with that health insurance CEO. Once again, I showed no remorse on the decision that was made, but that kind of just got pushed away. Mm-hmm. I saw a picture of Luigi, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that dude.
Dude, that's how all of it is. So obviously we've not done a DNN in a while, so I'll go back into it a little bit on here. We are going to bring that back at some point. It's just schematically been rough to get the schedules to work, and we've been very busy on the weekends. So there's a lot of different people that are getting named in the trial. So I just saw this morning that the the police chief from, weirdly enough, Maui was named in the Diddy investigation. There was, I forget who else. There was another one that was named this morning, but I don't remember who it was. I apologize. My dog is aggressively lapping up water right next to me.
And I didn't hear a single word, but my dryer's going.
Okay, well, good. We both got crazy shit going on. We're slowly upgrading equipment, so all these wonderful things will slowly keep getting better. But yeah, it's all the same thing. They still haven't released the Epstein list. Here we are. We're recording this on the 12th, so this will come out.
If you want to get technical, because there are going to be technical people, they did release the Epstein list. It was just looked like this.
Yeah. Here, this is. It might as well and I'm doing the podcast right now.
Yeah. Here's I have the Epstein list in my possession. You open it up, you're going to see Stat Tracker 9000. So
yeah. But whatever, I assume at this point they haven't released it. They are doing a lot of good things, it seems like, but that's one that I have a lot of questions about, because if they really were, and it all is coming out that was a human trafficking ring that they were doing. They were trafficking women and children to parties, and there was a lot of evidence that they were getting essentially people blackmailed in any way, shape, or form possible to gain control, which makes sense as to why most of our media and sports and entertainment seems to be like, watching that video the other day of all of the senators that were saying the exact same thing, and like they were even like acting it out like they were pissed off. They were like, "Oh, I'm tired of this shit." Like they were all given the same script, and if that doesn't tell you it's all fake, it's like we're living in a movie. I've watched a bunch of that stuff where they just use sets and they use masks and they use makeup and cameras, and they can do whatever the hell they want. Like, you see this stuff in movies, they can put the same thing out in the news just as easy. Like, it can all just be a play. And it seems like it's always a lot of the same, which is why it continues to look like it's all controlled by the quote unquote deep state. Like, I don't know how you can look at it any other way, unless they come out and you see a bunch of people start getting legitimately arrested and they go full transparency. They say, "Hey, this is what happened with JFK. This is what happened with this. This is what happened with this." And people start legitimately being arrested, but you can't arrest the people that were trafficking humans, knowing that you have a list of the people that were purchasing said humans, but we're not going to arrest those people. What? Like, those are, because they're still doing it. They haven't stopped. You just took out the fall guys. You took out the replaceable people. If all of these people are implemented, they've all been blackmailed at one spot or another. Obviously, you're going to do everything you can to make sure that list does not get out. And that's every time it gets close, every time that it keeps getting pushed, then the next thing gets done, the next thing happens, the next natural disaster, the next cool thing, whatever it is, it's all deflecting to get people off of that, because as society we just fall off and everybody just forgets about it and moves on to the next thing. But for once, it seems like, at least on Twitter, X, whatever the hell, that people are staying on top of it and not letting it fall aside. There's so many people talking about it now. You see it on TikTok and Twitter both, because they're a lot more free speech platforms, and you're not going to get, well, TikTok took me down because I asked a bunch of questions about the Diddy and Epstein list, which I have questions because it took me down for misinformation, which I found fascinating, because obviously I wasn't giving information, I was asking questions. So I would assume it took it down because I was talking about those lists, and that if obviously the UFOs, whatever it is, it's always something to keep you from continuing to want to know that information, because I think it implements so many people that it would just be people wouldn't know how to react to it whenever it came out. If all the stuff that I've read is correct, which clearly they flood it with all kinds of shit that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to lose my shit on my dog here momentarily, because she is laying next to the door whining. Oh my God. I was curious if you could hear it or not, but I'm about to lose it. I don't know what she's doing, but she is just laying next to the door whining aggressively. I'm assuming she knows it's nice outside, and she's like, "Why are we sitting inside? I want to go out and play." But
I want to go outside.
Driving me fucking crazy. Thank you to my wife who got her out of here for me. But yeah,
let the dogs out. Who?
My wife, thank God, because I was about to lose my shit. But yeah, I mean, clearly, if that's what's going on and it implements that many people and they have blackmail on everybody and it's whatever country, whatever group that is running this that just keeps murdering people and blackmailing people and whatever, and they've just done it for whatever, however many decades
Centuries.
now. I mean, I guess it could be centuries. I would assume I got a video sent to me earlier that it was showing you what like commercials or TV shows talked about vaccines back in like the 60s and 70s compared to now. And back then it was like talking about how the measles were like basically the shows were talking about getting the measles and just kind of getting it over with, blah, 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 and not wanting to take the shot for it unless you had to kind of thing. And then it was fast forward to a Law and Order episode, and it's like the measles outbreak. You need to, they have like these bio people in these schools cleaning, and it's this huge, scary, big ordeal. And it's like, so there's the time frame. Sometime between the 60s and 70s and now, they realized they could capitalize off of the money in pharma, and they realized that they could poison the food to make people sick. Then that also would lead to them making money in pharma. They can put all this scary shit in the media and keep you in control because you don't want to venture out of the norm or the mold. Or same thing with like developing your personality. We all, rather than being yourself, we all gravitate towards being like each other. So then, because you don't want to get made fun of, but in reality, if everybody was just themselves, like we talked, well, people won't get to see that until whatever, a week or
2
a week
weeks.
and a half. Yeah, 2 weeks. But I completely lost my train of thought. What did I just say?
You were talking about being yourself, and the episode doesn't drop for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. So like being yourself is, if you can do that, you start figuring out who you are and what you like in life. You start chasing your passions. You start following these different things, and your life legitimately changes. Like whether it's your physical appearance, your confidence, whatever it is that you struggle with, you start putting that like energy towards it because you start figuring those things out. You're able to step back and drop that ego and go, hey, like I'm looking at myself every day, telling myself that I'm okay with the way I look, but I know I don't like the way I look. I know that when I put clothes on, I don't like when it's tight. I don't like wearing certain things because I look like shit or whatever, but I can keep telling myself and keep eating like shit and keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm not making any progress, and it's keeping me mentally not where I want to be. And and it took me quitting that job and having that realization of like, oh, that was that weight and that feeling. And then I started tackling everything. It was like, okay, there were things around my house that had been neglected. I was working asinine amounts of hours, so that stuff wasn't getting taken care of. So then whenever I was off, every day from the moment I woke up to most nights till after everyone else went to bed, I was working on something, and I redid our entire house over the course of like a month because like I painted everything, the floors, deep cleaned everything. It was
I didn't know you were handy.
I'm not. I mean, I can do some things. Like okay, hold on. I had someone do the floors and like things that required like actual adulting and like, measuring and cutting. I can't be using power tools, but I could paint and clean and but like all of the little shit that had been neglected, I was hell bent on getting done. So then again, that was another one that it was like, oh, I feel so much better. And then by default, I was working my ass off. I wasn't really eating. So I was starting to lose weight. And we were in the gym a little bit then anyway. But it was like a day or two a week, sometimes 3 if we were really getting after it. The diet still wasn't super great. But it was that chunk when I was working on the house, I really like kind of stopped eating. And I learned about the fasting. There was a few times that I literally just forgot to eat, and it was like 11 o'clock. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. I'm not going to eat now. And I woke up and felt phenomenal. And it was like, oh, okay, well, there's something to that. And I started doing research on it. But that's literally how my whole transition with my weight loss happened was my mentality.
Yeah.
I started realizing what those anxieties and stressors were, and I started going after them. I started tackling them. I started making sure that, like, when I felt that, I was going, okay, what's going on? What I wasn't running from it. I wasn't going, okay, we don't need to figure that out, or we don't need to deal with that right now. Whatever it was, if it popped in my head, I just dealt with it. And it was like, okay, what? And obviously, I've had to learn throughout this process that you can't just, spew the things that come out of your head all the time immediately. You got to kind of let them fester in there for a moment and then go after it. But it really does it can put you in the right direction in anything that is bugging you in life. Like if you just start looking at it and you don't kind of shy away from it and start tackling it, it seems, I don't know, it makes everything a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
I also started taking ashwagandha and turmeric because I read a bunch of stuff about cortisol levels, and I guess that it's a hormone, like a stress hormone that, and it keeps it difficult to lose fat, and it keeps you inflamed and stressed. It fucks with your sleep. There was
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of different things that I was reading about it, and I've been taking it for 2-3 weeks now, and like I get spells of anxiety where I'll have days where it's like, Jesus, everything seems like it's bugging the shit out of me, or you get that like, but I've not had half of that. Like I noticed this past weekend when we were doing the wrestling stuff, like getting ready to do that, there's usually that butterfly feeling, and then it usually goes away. But this time, like it was there, but I was more excited to go out there and do it. It definitely helped reduce it in some way, shape, or form. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what it
Was that
does.
the ashwagandha or the turmeric?
So I think they combine well together from the research that I did. So I think it's both. I think they both. I take a lot of vitamins. So I take K2, D, magnesium, ashwagandha, turmeric. I think that's it. That's all I'm taking right now. But I did an AI search on all of them, and they all kind of complement each other. So when you take the K, the D, and the magnesium, I can't remember exactly what it does, but they all kind of like direct each other.
Okay.
It helps it go to the right places. And same thing with the ashwagandha and turmeric. I guess when they combined they both do very similar things. So it kind of is like a full, I don't know, like it just said it basically makes it like a little bit like a super vitamin type thing.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
yeah, I just, for me, like I am constantly, I feel like stressed and anxious and trying, like obviously you deal with me all the time. So I try my best, it but it really has helped tremendously with
Mhm.
the, like, I don't know, stress level or anxiety level. It does not seem to flare up near as often when I'm taking these. So I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah. I just started taking apple cider vinegar pellets this time.
Okay.
I was
I've heard a
drinking.
lot about it too. I've just never done it.
I mean, year 2023, I did it a little bit, but I mixed the vinegar with the water, and you had to pound it, and it tastes like balls.
Yep.
These tablets, I mean, this is day 2, but I feel okay. I mean, I don't know, it just feels, I feel different, but
Yeah. What
they
made you
still
start
taste like,
taking those again?
I looked in the mirror the other day and I was fat, and I
Oh,
was
so
like,
what I just said really, like you were like, yeah, hey, I'm right there. That's what I
well,
just
I
did.
was just like, I feel fatter than usual. And I'm like, And then I saw a TikTok video about, it was TikTok shop. They're trying to sell you the tablets, and
Always.
it was saying like it works, it goes after your stomach and all that. And I'm like, I feel good, other than sometimes I might like stomach. I don't like it sometimes, but
Mhm.
I'm 310 fucking pounds, and I'm probably faster than most motherfucking people listening. So
Yeah.
there's that.
But for me, it's a health thing. Like I
Mhm.
want to feel good. Like I want the energy. I don't want to feel like I'm gonna pass the fuck out at
Right.
2:30, 3 o'clock. Like I hate that when I go pick up the kids from school and I bring them home and I'm just like dragging ass because I've been doing shit all day, and then I'm tired, and then we have a podcast in the evening, and it's like I don't want to feel that way. Like I
Yeah.
want to my body to work as good as humanly possible, and I want to function. Like but I've had that conversation with myself. I am very much so back addicted to sugar. I mean, it's not near what it used to be, but like
Yeah.
I will these currently I have a cookie sitting next to me but my food has been a ham and cheese omelet with fruit and toast, and then I had a banana, and then I had some those little animal chicken nugget thingies that I
Yeah.
found that were like I don't know, weirdly super good. I mean, the sodium was a little higher than I would have enjoyed, but the sodium and carbs weren't super great. But for a quick little protein snack, it was, and it's kept me full. Obviously, then I ate half a cookie, so balance.
You might as well
But
eat the other half. Don't let it go to waste.
oh yeah, I will absolutely munch on it probably throughout the rest of this podcast, I would
That's
assume.
fine.
But
And
so
that's
when you like, so what? I guess when it clicked that you wanted to start getting back, what's your plan now? Like, what when that usually clicks for you? What do you go into?
I don't know. I went and walked 2 laps today around the park. Well,
Good.
the park walking track, but then I had to go get my wife's car, and I got a cup of coffee. But I don't know. I
What
mean, what?
I was getting, I feel like I'm interviewing you. This is great.
That's
We don't
fine.
ever do this. So what makes like when do you usually lose it? Because that's where I always struggled was I would have those moments where I would be doing something and I would look at myself and be like, it was usually a feeling thing where I would just get super tired or my pants would be crazy tight or whatever it was. And that would kind of kick
Mm-hmm.
me. And then I'd start doing some research and then I would jump into a diet or I would jump into like, oh, I'm going to do this or but my problem was I would always go a million miles an hour. Again, you deal with me all the time. You absolutely, I assume, understand what I'm talking about and I will burn myself out because it's fucking hard. Like
Yeah.
there's no, but I also always looked at it as an end game, like that there was an ending to
Mhm.
the process, and now I'm 2 years into this, and there's not there.
There's no end.
Like, it still fucks with me. Like I'll get on the scale and I don't do it very often, but it'll fluctuate. I'm usually between 190 and 200, somewhere
Right.
in that
Right.
realm pretty consistently. So if it starts getting upwards for the 200, I'm like, ooh, but you start like, oh, you look fat as shit. Like, what are you doing? Come on. And like, I'm in better shape than I've ever been in my life, and I still do that. So just know it doesn't go away.
No, and that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm good. Like, because I was little. I was a kid. I was little. I
Yeah.
hated being little because I was my brother's 8 years older than me, and he just beat the shit out of me. So I wanted to be big, and I'm like, I mean, I'm cool with it. But if I could stay, like I said, I got that window that I'm not even in of 255 to 285.
Yeah.
But even if I stay at the 300 mark and the stomach gets smaller, I'm cool. But also, I don't like today. I've eaten pretty well. What I had 3 chicken patties for breakfast, just plain chicken patties from the air fryer,
Yeah.
which may or may not be good, but I don't give a shit. Then I had two servings of chicken and rice, just grilled chicken, white rice. Just it was in the fridge, but then some water. I had 1 cup of coffee, and I've had 3 of these from water. But I don't know. I just was like, because I remember when October's Novemberish of 23, I was getting comments, man, you're losing weight. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, I'm really not doing anything.
But you were though, because there for a while you were in the gym with us almost every morning.
No,
you
this
were
was
in
before
there.
that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say there for like what, last summer? I feel like you were in there with us
Yeah.
at least 3 days a week. You were in there hanging out in the mornings. So
Yeah.
like just by default, you're gonna start losing. And that's what anybody who's asked me, I think I've said this before, but anybody who's asked me like how to start or what to do, the vitamins that I listed earlier is a great place to start. And water is incredibly important. Drink, like, start your day just chugging a bottle of water like that. It wakes up your body, it gets you moving. But then just start slow with everything. Don't, like you just said, the chicken patties, I don't know if it's good or not. Who gives a shit? If for you cutting out that bread was a win, then that's a win. You cut out the bread, that means you did better. So look at everything you're doing that way, even if you fail. It's not, you didn't fail.
That's what started the whole. Like I go, what kind of started that, and I was drinking apple cider vinegar every day.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay. I said, it tastes like balls. Is there pills? I did that. They
Yeah.
still, if you don't get that water in there fast enough, you taste the apple cider vinegar, and it's
Yeah.
good. But other than that, like I said, I'm
And that's
cool where I'm at.
well, that's why we started working out in the morning too, because I'm not great with sticking to a diet. And if we don't work out like the weekends, it's a struggle because you're like, just like this past weekend, we traveled all weekend and we're running around like crazy people. So the eating isn't, there's not a whole hell of a lot of options out there. So you're
No,
just trying to do your best. Like we basically just ate sandwiches the whole time, but
I did
still,
the best.
it's not.
I did the best I could on the way to Ohio. I just ate chicken,
Ooh,
and then
yeah. I
on the
did
way
not eat
back,
it. I had a blizzard and it was delicious.
on the way back from Ohio, what I had a half-pound roast beef combo large with the 8-pack of jalapeno bites. You know what? I
Yeah.
said, fuck it. I didn't care.
That would have, I think I might have died on the way home. It's no wonder you passed out because I was struggling. There was a few times that I was like, "Ooh, I don't know that we're gonna make it back. I may have to pull over and
Yeah.
catch a little 15-minute power nap."
I wouldn't have noticed one bit because I think I woke up in Brazil. I'm like,
Yes,
oh.
you did wake up once because I hit the rumble strips and you were like, "You okay?" And I go, "Yep, I'm good." And you're like, "You fall asleep?" And I go, "No, actually, I wasn't asleep that time. It was
I got scared.
the ambulance startled me and we
Yeah.
hit the rumble strips." So
Well, but that was it was a fun for me. It was a fun 3 days because I got to go to Ohio Valley Wrestling down in Louisville and got to see what that was like. It was let's see, on TV it looks really big, but in real life it's good size, but it's just like
yeah,
more condensed. I'm like, oh, okay, it's pretty sweet.
yeah.
And you're right up there. Somehow I don't want to say we got front row, but it was front row, and it was but I think it's open seating, and maybe we were in a splash zone or something, but it was a fun time there. Just seeing, and I got to see some of the wrestlers that we commentate for. They were cool. They were excited to see us down there. So it was just fun.
Well,
But I
hopefully
knew
one day we can work there with them. We can
maybe
commentate or ring announce.
we are available. Anybody
Yeah.
watching? But it was just fun, and the road trip back, because I don't know if I told you this, our driver got hooted and hollered at, got called a hottie. And
Oh,
like, because they pulled up beside us and they're like making noise, and I look over, I'm in the back. I look over, the driver looks over, and then Mr. H looks over and he goes, I think they're yelling at you. And he's like, oh, whatever. We both turned and we go to the next block, and they're still yelling. And I go, fuck it. Roll down the window. I'm like, what's up? They're like, the driver's hot. I'm like, I know. And they're like, but he's married, isn't he? I'm like, yeah. And then, but I didn't think about it. I should have said, yeah, to me.
yeah.
But
Oh, I was literally getting ready to say you should have just reached up there and hugged him, and been like, "He's all mine, ladies."
he's all mine, ladies. But I wasn't sure if it was the two ladies yelling at him that thought he was hot or the male driver. I really don't know.
It would have, but it would have worked either way. It didn't matter.
Oh yeah, it was fucking hilarious. And he was, I don't know if he was like, he told his wife, he goes, she ain't gonna believe me. I go, no, you got two other witnesses that said you were a hottie.
And now you've talked about it on a podcast, and now you can just tell him to have.
Now the millions and millions of our listeners will now know that my driver was a hottie that night.
Well,
So shout out to Derek. I'll leave your last name anonymous so you don't get blown up on social media. You know, we don't want all the ladies going over to his Facebook and just hitting him up saying, "Oh, you're hot."
I don't think his wife would appreciate that even in the slightest.
I don't know. Hey, my wife's in the studio right now. Would you appreciate if all these women said I was hot?
God, no.
She said, "God, no."
Why not? But then that means you have captured the beast.
You captured the beast. You ain't tamed the beast, but you captured the beast.
That's why I used capture. She has you in the house.
Oh, she did say if they pay me money, fair game. Okay, so
for the right amount, yeah.
Legal in the Velvet household. I charge $45 an hour, and if we're going to play doctor, I'm going to keep you in the waiting room for 44 minutes, and you get an hour of playtime or a minute of playtime, and then
it's very fitting. You married the $1 million woman. Everybody has a price.
Apparently, I thought I was priceless, but
nope.
oh
She
well.
said for the right amount. Yeah, I really don't give a shit.
Well, I've been trying to get that OnlyFans started, but she keeps shutting me down.
Do you want me to ask my wife the same question?
Sure.
Let me see if I can get her. She might come out here.
Bailey.
What?
Would you be okay if all of our lady listeners said I was hot?
Yeah, they can think you're hot, but just know that I'm a crazy person.
My wife was just pouring me out, so
yeah. Jasmine said for the right price. Sure.
There we go.
My wife went aggressive.
I didn't think about that.
There, now she's on the same wagon now.
There we go.
She's like, wait a minute, we can make money off of this?
You make money off your dumb ass? Yep. Apparently you can.
She's like, sweet, he'll be useful.
Useful.
I just got yelled at.
Well, that happens. I was trying to find something because you can. You know what? I've been in entertainment before. I was trying to find the video that you made.
What are you doing?
Hold on.
You have some weird dreams.
That was last Thursday.
You
know, I used to be a dancer.
Find those delightful.
Yeah, I used to be a dancer.
That's one of those things that you figure out how to do, and then I spent a lot of time playing with it, and I assume annoyed my wife and you tremendously.
Oh, I find them very funny, and I didn't realize to go to that menu, I had to pull up the Power Slam platter, change the border and everything. I was like, oh shit. Anyway,
I switched it back. We're good. I gotcha. I watched you do it. I was like, it's okay. We'll just show everybody all of our backgrounds during this.
Apparently, my wife is okay with it, so I will start stripping again.
All right. Well, look at that. I'm trying to add.
Cheap.
I have the clip of your happy place that we did.
Yeah,
your happy place, but for some reason it did not load for me. So we're going to try again. But
happiness.
Then you know what? It makes sense why you were so damn tired on Friday, because obviously you did that twice, and then we drove 4.5 hours to Ohio and did all of our stuff, and that was interesting because we got to do a 15-minute crowd like warm up thing that we were not expecting. So that was kind of another one of those like barrier things that it was like, oh, we've never done this before.
No, the only downfall was we couldn't hype up the crowd. That's kind of my thing.
We kind of screwed up a couple times. We might have went a little hard a couple times, but I felt like we kept it fairly tame for having to go for 15 minutes. We did not have the stamina for 15 minutes, I don't think.
Not going calm. I mean, if you let me, because dude, when I get that microphone, I'm just like, yeah, let's go. And I couldn't do that. So I had to really use my brain and not do that.
Between you and that one little kid, you both bought us 5 to 10 minutes. When you asked the one kid what their favorite wrestler was, that ended up getting us all kinds of.
Oh, my buddy Gabriel.
Yeah, the one little kid who was very, very positive and was awesome, and we kept going back to him. And I'm not sure that his parents were super thrilled, but we kept going back to him because he was awesome and he was positive and delightful.
Well, nobody else would raise their hand.
Fair point.
Then I just started bullying people. I'm like, hey, who's your wrestler? And some guy gave me a card who makes hats.
Yeah, we need to reach out to that guy. We can get custom cowboy hats.
I got a guy in Cloverdale, a little further. That guy's in South Carolina. I looked at his card. I go, he's in South Carolina. Unless SC stands for like Southern Ohio Camp or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
We can talk. My brother's got a cowboy hat maker, but get your checkbook out. They ain't cheap.
Oh.
See, my brother's last hat was about $700.
Ooh, that's a lot. I feel like a cowboy hat would look ginormous on my head.
I think it'd be hilarious.
It would be like one of those 10-gallon hats. I'd look like a cartoon character.
You look like Jim Carrey on Dumb and Dumber with
yeah.
that cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I think that
I,
would be.
there's, I feel like there's no way for me to wear a cowboy hat that does not look like cartoonish.
Nah, probably not. I used to wear a cowboy hat in my Scottie Pippen basketball shoes,
Oh, that's a good look.
but I was also 9.
Yeah. I feel like 9-year-olds can get away with that. Not now,
Yeah.
I don't think. I feel like 9-year-olds they're like 16-year-olds now. It's like inflation.
That might be. Yeah, you're right there. You're
It
right.
really is. It's
Yeah.
It's crazy, like how the older we get, the earlier stuff, like
I know.
the drama.
Hey,
and
I booked 3 stripping gigs since this show's been going. 3. Yeah, I got messages. I mean, I got to travel a little bit. I got to go to the west side of Indianapolis to the Red Garter. Yeah, I got messages, man. I'm getting paid. Making big bucks, all in ones, but big bucks. Yeah. Anyway.
I always like when you're talking shit to her. I'm just waiting for something to come flying into the screen, it being an item and or your wife tackling you.
She just kind of said, okay. So,
Well, at least you know now you have the green light that you can
Red
probably
Velvet
start your
Johnson
OnlyFans.
coming to a theater near you.
However, I really think starting the OnlyFans and you doing like, hey, we're out here stripping, and then it's the wallpaper, or we're in the park playing with our balls, and then we're just throwing a ball back and forth. Like, I feel like we could have a lot of
Bounce
fun.
my balls off Lumpy's face. Don't.
Just Evan accidentally bounces his balls off Jared's forehead.
Yeah, we'll get all like, we'll have like seductive music playing in the background. It's just,
Yeah.
boop.
And then it's just, that's what it is. And
mean,
I think that would be hysterical.
I think it would be.
However,
too.
we just told everyone live on the podcast exactly how we were going to do it. So, maybe
well, they
not.
probably figured out. I mean, you might do it naked. I don't know. Like, there you go. You don't know what you're going to get. So,
I can almost guarantee you that will not happen because our wives will murder us.
Not mine, apparently. So,
Yeah, but you didn't tell her you were going to go full nude on the internet. I think if you would have said, "Hey, I'm going full frontal on the internet," she'd have been like, "The fuck you are."
I think I should wear a mask.
Yes, if you're going to go full frontal on the internet, yes.
I need to talk to Hee-Ho. And
no, I got you.
No, I don't want to wear an ear mask.
What?
They've already been seen. I need a custom-made mask that nobody's ever seen. They just showed it, dumbass.
You can't see what they are, though, dumbass.
How many masks did you buy?
And another one.
Jeez Louise.
Shout out Mr. Bob Evans. He had a whole
brutal Bob
masks.
Evans. He was your hookup for the luchador mask.
He hooked us up with, and then I didn't realize my kid's Brandon Day.
Oh,
Unchained.
Does that go in the dark by chance?
It might. It's chainmail.
It's chainmail?
Yeah, look, isn't that badass?
Oh,
it's the Unchained King.
I'll have to send him a message, see if I can buy one of those and have him ship it.
As you can see, all of my shit is still in my bag from this past week when we did all of that.
Most of my tux is in your car.
That's because you just waddled out of my car both nights. You just looked at me and went, "Do I need to get anything out of the car?" And I'm like, "Nope." And you're like, "Deal." And then the first night you were literally like a zombie. You just got out and you're like, "Do I need to get anything?" And I said, "Nope, I got it." You left backpack, tote, everything. You were like, "Fuck it all." It's all staying.
I was tired. It was 3:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Dude, those last 2 hours were brutal. I was struggling. I was just like, there were multiple times where I was just like, come on, motherfucker, we got this.
Yeah, well, props to you because I was dead of the world. But then Saturday, I could be at the YMCA at 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's finally when you looked over at me, and I forget what you were doing. You were like on your phone trying to stay awake, and you said something, and I was like, "Dude, you can go to sleep." You're like, "Okay," and it was maybe 2 minutes, and you were passed the fuck out.
Well, I was on TikTok. I remember because somehow I dozed off, and I clicked the link for a TikTok shop. I didn't know what it was, and I go, "I might have just bought something on TikTok shop. I don't know." And you're like, "You can go to sleep, right?"
Yeah,
done.
It was damn near that quick. You were just like, "Oh, are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna make a difference either way." Like,
It was, I mean, it was fun. Well, then Saturday, I didn't have much of a voice. I was like, oh, like I woke up and I was trying not to talk too much. And then we had ring
well, we've
announce that
never
one.
done back-to-back nights. That
No.
was a first. We've also never really traveled either. This was a lot of firsts this weekend.
And by the time the main event rolled around, I was yelling as loud as I could just to try to talk normal, it felt like. And
I was honestly, I was surprised you didn't tell me to go do the main event ring announcing because you came back after. I think it was after I did the triple threat match and we were getting ready to start. And you're like, dude, my voice is gone.
yeah, it was bad because I was like, man, I don't know how you train for that. Like,
What we're doing, I think it just gets calloused over time. So the more
oh,
we're doing it, because remember, like we would get like that just after doing one night of it. Like we'd do one event at Signal 10, and it took me a couple days for a while where it was like, oh
yeah.
shit, I can't talk. But I think we've been doing it enough, and obviously we're on these all the time too.
Mhm.
We're
Well, that's
constantly talking and yelling. So
and I stepped it up in Ohio because we were a new audience, and plus we were in the back. I wanted people to hear me, so I was yelling loud, and I was like in my head, I'm like, probably shouldn't have done that, but I just kept
no,
going.
but I think that was like that energy is what most of these places are looking for, it seems like. Because
Yeah,
that's I don't know. I just always pretend like I don't even really pretend. I'm just sitting there as a fan and I'm reacting and being uber positive. Obviously, I play a bad guy in most scenarios, so I talk a lot of shit, but listening back to it, it's we do a really good job of like one of us either talking shit or saying something and the other one kind of picking up and putting over the other person and making sure that there's this back and forth where we're telling the story of who's on what side, what they're doing and why, but we do it with energy. And we do that for every match for the whole show. We're going that hard every time. And I think it's just different from a lot of ways most people do it.
right. Well, that's I don't say it's we do our own style. It's just us.
We
It's just
definitely
the way
do.
we do it. It's just how we do it. How we, especially everybody I've worked with has been pretty easy to work with. So just do your thing and call what you see. Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that. You're
Yep.
cool. I don't have to like be scientific with this shit. Cool. Just do what I do. Gotcha.
Well, and the nice thing is you do know a lot of the moves. So we talked about that before that like I've kind of learned with like those spots to just especially when I don't know what it is, I always sit back for a second, let you talk about what's going on, and then I jump in and hit my
Yeah.
line or my comment or whatever it is. And like we're even getting each time I feel like that flow is
Yeah.
kind of coming together where it's not always easy because you're reacting. So there are times we're going to step on each other just because of what's happening. Like the way those dudes were hitting each other and chopping on
Oh,
Saturday.
oh my gosh.
On both days, I guess, but I forgot about Brandon Beretta. Sweet Jesus, the chops that poor Mr. Arrows took were absolutely
Strictly
unreal.
business, Brandon Beretta.
God damn. And I think it was the triple threat, the Josh Crane, Cole Radrick, and Ace Perry match
Yeah.
that they were like, so we're sitting 20 feet away and our mics are designed to not pick up the crowd and the background. Like if obviously when you tune them in the right way, as I've learned, but like you're not getting a ton of background noise, but they were hitting each other so fucking hard. You can hear the slaps on the audio. I went back and tried to show Bailey a couple of them and you can hear the pop off the chest when they get done, and it's like, oh my god!
Well, even Eric Dillinger and DeCobra, they're
Oh
chopped,
yeah,
dude. Man,
so
they
it was
started off
like
the
that all
show
weekend.
going 100 miles an hour in the crowd with was it DeCobra went off the bleachers onto the gym floor, and
Yeah,
then Dillinger jumped on top from the bleachers, and I'm just like,
and for
dog.
anyone who thinks this shit's fake, it's not fake. It's predetermined. They like, yes, they understand like it's a show, but they're beating the shit out of each other. Like it,
They
there
are.
are so many shots that I'm like, oh my god. Anytime you're watching wrestling, you're like, well, how'd they fake that? They didn't fake it. They fucking hit each other.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing is like, don't ever tell a wrestler's fake. Don't say fake around a wrestler because, like that, it's disrespectful,
Well, okay. I know what would happen if I went in there and did a match. Like, it
Oh,
ain't
God.
fake
Yeah.
because I know I wouldn't. It would take me probably a solid week to recover, and I am in, I would say, the best shape of my life. And I don't know that I could do it and my body would recover. I mean, I would be able to do it, but it would be the aftermath of trying to recover for multiple days.
Exactly.
I would struggle.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like their bodies are calloused enough to like,
because they're doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
if
and
not
a
more.
lot of these. Well, and a lot of these kids are in their 20s. I say kids because we're old as shit, but they're in their 20s. Yeah, I feel old. Like, because we're like the old men in the with the group of children at times.
Honestly, if you look at it, we're the Diamond Dallas Page. He kind of came into it full time at 35 to training to be a wrestler, and he was 35 as a rookie, like rookie-ish. He had a match or two in the late, like early, either late 70s, early 80s, and then left, and then was in AWA for a little bit, and then dipped out again, and then came back. So
okay,
yeah, but
and I look at it like we're able to get into this. This is what we're doing this full time. We're doing these shows where we have all the ability to do this, and we both fucking love wrestling, and it's always been a passion. So why not go for it? If we're getting these opportunities and people enjoy the way we're doing this stuff, why not keep learning and keep doing it and keep going hard? Because obviously that would be an absolute dream for one of these companies to reach out. But all we're doing is putting together film, putting together knowledge, and getting better and better every time we take these opportunities. And who the fuck knows? Like, you can send your film into these places and we may end up getting an offer from somewhere. So, and then to me, that's like, oh, hey, this is like why we started doing this stuff, to get opportunities like that, to go live out a dream, to be able to commentate for a bigger company or ring announce for one of these bigger companies. That would be obviously ideal. Like the growth of our platform, like that would equally help that as well. So it's, I mean,
we are the entertainment of sports entertainment. There's still a sport in that whole wrestling thing. And that's where we
don't do the sport part.
No, we are definitely entertainment, as we saw with the 50-50 giveaway going on at Hybrid that I had to dance. I don't know why I had to dance.
Well, so basically, you have absolutely no idea what happened, do you?
No, I was just in the locker room talking to somebody, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to dance." Oh, okay, let's go.
Can you either put that on our thing or send it to me so I can put it on our thing? And we will play your video here momentarily. But basically what had happened was we were at intermission and I was still downstairs wandering around because they had given me a microphone and asked me to announce the 50-50 tickets. And I believe you had went upstairs, and the security guy came over to me and was like, "Hey, if I get them to buy more tickets, will you get up in the ring and dance?" And I said, "Absolutely not. Hold on. Let me go get the right person for this job."
Get the other guy.
And I walked upstairs and grabbed Mr. Velvet, and he went down, and we announced that if they sold any more tickets, then Mr. Velvet would do a dance in the ring. And you did not disappoint. You went full send and went for it.
Full send, yes.
The clip is processing. Un momento.
Well, I was like, and I think, was it arm links or just had to be an individual ticket? I think it was arm links.
No, I think he was literally just, if anyone bought a ticket, he was going to have you dance. But I do believe they sold lots of tickets afterwards because of your dance.
Well, that's good. And I was told that may happen all the time. I'm like, I don't have that many dance moves. Like,
you don't have the
really,
routine.
And in those pants that I was wearing, I'm even more limited on my dance moves because I was gonna like take the jacket off. I'm like, I don't know, because they're tight. They were tight but baggy at the same time. And at one point, I saw my red compression shorts. I'm like, I'm not gonna just no.
Well, for your enjoyment, here is the Red Velvet dance routine.
Yeah.
You about took a header out of the ring on the.
Well, I tried to hit the ropes once again. I was pretty constricted. I didn't think about it. I about ate it. Yeah.
Very well done though. Like you straight went for it. I can assure you that if they would have ended up getting me up there, that would have not went like that.
You got to loosen the hips a little bit, Bob.
No, I did the Penta walk dance thing once in my suit, but that was about as far as it goes.
Yeah. Well, then I realized afterwards I had to do the main event, and we did the big fight thing where they're both in the ring, and I'm standing in front of the hard cam. I realized in the moment I didn't tuck my shirt back in, so I probably look like a lump of crap.
Okay, so I almost told you that, but I was like, I don't want to offend him because he might have just like left it open. And I was like, I didn't want you to think that it looked bad because it didn't look bad. But I was like,
good.
I don't want you to think that I think.
Well, that would be the one time like WWE would like watch that segment and be like, look at that big lump of goo over there. They can't tuck his shirt in because he's a fucking moron. So,
man.
But by that point in time, I've been awake for far too long. I didn't care. So WWE, if you do watch that and somehow stumble upon this, I was exhausted and
tired.
My pants were too tight. I had to let them breathe.
That was one of my favorite. You getting in the ring to get ready to do it because you like grabbed onto the ropes and you went to do it. And you grabbed the mic and you're like, hold on, having some pants issue or whatever. You're like, these pants are tight and I'm tired or whatever you said to hold yourself up.
Well, they didn't have steps to walk into, so I had to go from floor to ring in pants that could very easily rip in the crotchal region, not because of my huge schlong that I do not have, but because it's just not enough material. So I had to grab the rope and kind of lean back and springboard myself in and somehow get my fat ass up there. It was a little tough. If I was in my Dickies Flex jeans, I wouldn't have a problem. But I was in not much give tight pants.
That's something you're not prepped for is when you have to get into a ring that sits like 4.5 feet off the ground and then you have to figure out how to jump up there in a fucking suit.
Yeah, especially one that doesn't fit real well.
I don't have much of a vertical. So I just basically had to like do like the 1-2 hop and then just catch myself on the middle rope and pull my ass up there.
1-2 hop.
But that's so detrimental because all it takes is for my hands to get sweaty and me to slip off that rope one time and I'm going to eat shit.
Oh, that's why there's a camera person there at all times, just in case.
Just in case I do. We do have a videographer that's been going with us. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Diligent Dad Studios. If you want some videography work done, please hit up Diligent Dad on Facebook.
He does phenomenal work. He's done a bunch of our videos for wrestling and the Wing Challenge, and we're getting ready to get some more stuff from him from the last wrestling event.
Yes, we will.
Definitely go check his stuff out. I think I saw he does a tree service too.
Yeah, Diligent Dad Tree Service.
There you go.
He's badass with the trees. Like he's a climber.
Oh.
Yeah. And he
want to cut down a spiky ball tree that is in my neighbor's yard that is not on my property, but I just really, really don't enjoy it.
I'm going to go on a limb and say he would do it, and I'm guessing your neighbor would let you do it if you paid for it.
Fair. I kind of want him to go out on a limb also. Did you do that on purpose?
Well, yeah, I did.
Well done.
Yeah, but if you talk to your neighbor and say you'll pay for it, I will about bet the farm that he would say, cool, make it happen.
I'm getting ready to get a new neighbor, so.
Oh, well, maybe the new neighbor will do it.
I'm just going to say it's got to be some sort of freaking hazard of some sort.
Oh, it is. It's an insurance nightmare.
Ankles on those things.
Oh, I'm talking about the big tree part, not the gumballs. I'm talking about the tree part that can fall in your house, not you twisting your ankle on a gumball.
It fucking hurts. I hate those damn things.
You know what
They
hurt
cover
worse?
my yard.
Tree falling on your house.
Well, so then to remove them, you either have to have a incredibly strong leaf blower, which I do not have, or I went and bought a thing that rolls and picks them up, but it's like this big and there's 80 goddamn thousand of them. So then I just stand in my yard like a moron rolling it back and forth for hours on end. So
Don't you just get a broom or a rake?
huh?
Get a broom or a
I
rake.
guess I could, but then I have to like figure out how to get them out once I rake the damn things up. It's way easier just to blow them and
Get a
them
wheelbarrow
out. No, fair point.
and a scoop shovel.
This sounds like a good job for my 12-year-old.
Yes, it's a very good job for your 12-year-old. Just get a rake, a scoop shovel, a wheelbarrow, and there you go.
I think we can make that happen. See, brilliant. This is why I need you. You could be my landscaping guy.
What's that? Because I have a Mexican wife?
No, no, because you have knowledge that I don't have, and I am.
Well, that way, if you have your gumballs if you have gumballs on your driveway, just get a broom. You sweep them out in the street. I don't know.
I just take the blower and blow them into the street, and then the street sweeper thingy comes through and.
Well, there you go.
But
I didn't know you had a blower. I thought you said you didn't have a blower.
No, it's not very powerful. I do have a blower, but then I saw. Well, then I saw the blower that the dude next door was using to like push all of the spiky balls that the tree is inhabiting the yard, and that thing made my blower look like a bitch. So I was like, oh, I do not have the correct power.
You don't have the real man blower.
Nope, I did not.
Well, I felt like there was a dirty joke that was just said in the silence.
No, my wife said love you because she was leaving to go pick my kid up.
Oh, I just thought something was.
Oh, but she did say she was going to make a dirty joke about the blower, and she chose not to.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
So but she was going to.
Well, like I said, yeah, but Diligent Dad, if you need any videography work done, hit him up. He is taking bookings, and we'll get you. He's going to listen to this and be like, they plugged me. Yes, we did plug you, Rob.
We did.
So.
No, don't say that. That just needs to be a clip. He's going to see this and say, they plugged me. I don't think that's what he was
Not in that dirty way. Not in the dirty way. We gave you a business plug, but does great work. So.
What wonderful OnlyFans content. Evan and Jared plug Rob. And it's just us telling.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord.
It's just us giving an ad read about his businesses.
We can, yeah. Never mind. We got to wrap this up before it goes down the drain. We need to thank our sponsors at this moment. I want to thank our sponsors, Pappy's Barbecue. Meat, eat, and repeat.
I keep working on my skincare if I'm going to go into 4K.
RJ's formal wear. They have sweet suits. That's your problem, not mine.
It's going to be your problem here soon when we get new cameras.
Nah. Wabash Valley Plumbing. They lay pipe. That's our slogan, not theirs. Peak Performance Gym. No peak, no results. And Stitch Breads. They embroider stuff. And if you need red velvet to come strip for you, hit me up in the DMs.
Oh, I hope multiple people hit you up.
Dude.
Please blow him up and ask him to come strip for you.
Oh, and I would just show my wife, and be like, look, pressure's
on. This coming up on St. Patrick's Day. You could do you could be like the leprechaun Graham and go out and dance for people.
That is true.
So there we go. There's an idea. If you would like to send a leprechaun Graham a red velvet stripping for your significant other, please reach out. I'm not sure what the pricing will be, but everyone's got a price.
How much does a divorce cost? Yeah.
Well, depends on how it goes. It could be cheap.
I'll say you're the expert here out of the two of us, so I don't know.
Fuck off.
I need to know these things.
I mean, you're not wrong, but mine did not cost a lot of money.
Okay. Well, you had a good one.
It went very well.
Well, that's good. That's good. Some of them are nasty, so you got lucky. But
luckily, I did not have to worry about that.
There you go. So, all right. Well, we got to go. I got to pee. Keep pushing. Love you.